What is going on, guys? This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler, and today is going to be an awesome day. It is early August, which is usually crazy hot, but it's nice and overcast, nice and cool. We're gonna be able to get out and hit the mountain today. As you can see behind me, I've got this awesome new Kawasaki Teryx KRX4 that Trail Hero helped provide for me to give me some access today. So this thing is super rowdy. If you guys don't know what Trail Hero is, it is a guided trail ride in early October here in Sand Hollow, where everybody brings out their buggies, their Jeeps, their side-by-sides, and they all come out and have a great time. So this thing's looking really good. We got some BFGs on here, got the Kawasaki KRX4, Raceline wheels. This thing looks rowdy. Fox Live suspension, super cool rig. So I'm gonna jump in this thing and we're gonna go access Chain Reaction Trail, which is also going to lead us into another one of my personal favorites, which is Master Link. If you wanna run Chain Reaction, there are guided trails during Trail Hero to go check it out. Let's jump in this Cowie and see how things go today. This thing crawls like a mountain goat. Didn't even care. That was a pretty wicked looking wall too. Well, that was a rad ride in. Hit a few rocks, went through some sand, didn't want to go too crazy. It's not mine, but this Cowie does really awesome. So thank you very much, Trail Hero. Greatly appreciated. Now it's time to get out and play on the mountain. All right, guys, here we go. We've got my Axial Capra with the 3-link conversion with my part that I manufacture. WestDesertWheeler.com if you want to grab one of these. It is a chassis mounted steering servo setup and 3-link for 3-link specific axles. This car, I just picked up an upgrade on the axles, and I've got the Vanquish Products VS410 Dana 44s. So really sweet product there, but wanted to make sure that it was compatible with my 3-link kit, and what do you know? It sure is. So my car in particular has an Axial 3-gear transmission, and it's got a Hobbywing Fusion in there going into the straight axles. So if you get one of these setups, the 3-link kits, I'd highly recommend going to a 3-gear transmission. The Capra transmission just doesn't quite have enough gearing reduction, and your car is going to be very fast with straight axles. I did run it with the Capra transmission, and it's totally possible to do. It's just that you don't have the gearing reduction. Your electronics might heat up a little bit if you're trying to crawl it. But if you want to go fast, that's the way to do it. But yeah. Also got some 2.2-inch Vanquish wheels. Those are hard to come by right now, and these aren't even mine. These are actually from Sky RC. So thanks, Cody, for letting me borrow the wheels, and we're gonna talk about these tires here in just a second. But today we came out to Chain Reaction Trail, which is where we are wheeling right now. It is hard to get access to, so again, thanks to Trail Hero for providing me some access with that Kawasaki. Really had a good time on the way out here, and it just brings you out to this epic terrain, which is one of my favorite trails out here to crawl. And it's this spot in particular as to why it's one of my favorites. It's just a bunch of these little V-crack climbs where you just got to get wedged in there, and it's like 6 or 7 different ledges, but they're all unique. They're super fun, and I think like 5 out of 6 of them are possible to crawl, just like this one. Maybe today we'll finally get that last one that I've never done before, now that we got the 3-link straight axle Capra. So right now in southern Utah, it is our monsoon season, which means it just rains crazy hard every afternoon. And luckily today everything is dry. However, all the water washes out all these little cracks and whatnot, because this is essentially a riverbed that we're driving on. At least when it flash floods, it's a riverbed. So, but that's what carves out the rocks and makes these so fun to drive on. So it's part of the challenge out here. But like I say, luckily it's dry. We're on a good track right here. This is my first time out with the Vanquish Dana 44 axle, so a little bit lower weight as well. Although these aluminum housings are always surprise me with actually how light they are. They are just a little heavier than the plastic housings, but man, do they look good. And if you're gonna put weight anywhere, you want it unsprung down low. So axles are a great way to go, especially when they look this good. Oh yeah, straight axle Capra, just walking that, crawled it nice and slow. with that Hobby Wing Fusion in there and that 3-gear transmission. So you might be asking yourself, well, why would I want a 3-link a Capra when it comes with 4-link and portals? That's a totally fair question, and my answer to that is the Capra axles are freaking awesome and I really like them. That's why I made this kit, is so that you can take Capra axles off of Capras and replace the axles with readily available setups like Axial AR45 SCX 10.3 axles, the straight axle kit, or you can go over to Vanquish Products and pick up some awesome super scale realistic 3-link only axles. And you will have to tweak the Panhard and drag link setup just a little bit with the Vanquish stuff, as I designed my part specifically for the 10.3 straight axle kit. But as I'm demonstrating right here today, that the Vanquish axles absolutely will work. Looks like we need to get our left rear a little bit higher up on the wall here to get some bite and push it up this hill. Yep, that's what she needed. Dip that tire in. Come on. So on these real steep climbs like this, you can see these yellow bands up here on my front shocks. Those are from D's company. D's right there on the roof. So thanks very much, Dustin. Small time company making a really cool product, and I don't think it'll take long for them to really start taking off. Everybody that runs them that I know has bought more and more. So, and including my rigs. I started out with 1 set and now I'm up to 4 or 5. So Dustin makes a great product. I really enjoy the D's bands. It really helps out on these vertical climbs just like you just saw. All right guys, I have delayed talking about these tires long enough, right? So I have been getting into tire modifications recently where I actually take complete tires and cut them apart and re-glue them back together. Now these tires, believe it or not, there are 10 different donor tires that created this set of 4 tires right here, which is pretty wild. It's a lot of work, and I don't offer this to anybody. Sky RC asked for a set, and I was learning how to do it for them, so that's the main reason that I actually did it, was to learn how to do it. And I don't intend on making another set, even for myself. But I'm out here today to test them out. I want to see how they perform, and truthfully, they're doing really good. So I may end up making myself a set, possibly, I don't know. But what are they? They are some race buggy tires. That's what the treads are. And then they have the 2.2 Vanquish wheels. Cody has a set of the 2.2s. So we actually used a set of 2.2 tires for the sidewalls. And I took a set of Pitbull growlers. Oh, there she goes. Took a set of Pitbull growlers in 2.2, and I used those for sidewalls. That way the beads actually just fit right onto the 2.2 wheels, no stretching necessary. Man, it's trying to climb this just straight up vertical. That's kind of impressive, really. But I'm diffing out. Sorry, I'm focused on the climb a little more than the tires right now. So yeah, I took a tread from each buggy tire and then glued them to the sidewalls of the 2.2s. However, the treads weren't tall enough, and you can see right there the seam in the tread. See a couple shiny lines, and that's because I had to add an extra 3/4 of an inch or so of tread. So I had to use 6 buggy tires and 4 sidewall donors. So pretty wild stuff. 10 tires to make this set, man. That's just crazy. Okay, here we go. This is the one that I've always struggled with getting up. And today it's so dug out that it's really hard to get our rear tires where we want. The rear axle is just diffing out. I'm sure I can hear somebody laughing on the other end saying, oh, well, if you just had portals, it would work. And they're probably right. But it's all good. If it wasn't challenging, it wouldn't be fun. I just need that front end to stick in there a little more. Come on, Capra, get it. Again, this is why I love this trail so much. Nice, predictable save there. Oh, a little too much angle. Yep, we might have to take the old bypass around this one, guys. Just because there's so much good terrain out here, I don't want to get stuck on this one obstacle for hours, which if I wasn't recording, I definitely would do, but I have to consider memory card and battery life in the GoPro. That was pretty close. That's all she's got. That's full throttle. 1200 Fusion doesn't have much get up and go. Yep, we're gonna call it there. Luckily the bypass is right here and it's not too bad. So we can cruise out of there, side hill across, and get into one of the last tracks on this part of the trail. Now, it's always been a benefit to have a longer wheelbase here, and I think this car's sitting right around 12.5, I would guess. I actually haven't measured it. I should definitely do that. Somewhere between 12.5 and probably 12 and 12.7, something like that. But you have to stand the cars up real vertical, and as you can see, it's also washed out at the bottom. So I might not be able to reach this today. So without just a lucky bump and hook, I don't think I'm gonna get a hold of the top ledge up here, which is unfortunate because this is a fun climb and it's a real struggle. Even once you get your front tires up and over, it's really hard to get the car to climb it. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to take the bypass on this one too. Just with the rain season and the wheelbase, she can't get a hold of the top. I will say though, I've had no struggle for traction with these pin tires. They are hooking up really well. This climb is always just a little trickier than she looks. You have to get rotated around really far, and you have to get balanced in that crack that my left rear is in the bottom of. So we'll see without a reverse if we can start getting this thing balanced out. As that front climbs up so high that it just wants to start flipping it over backwards, we're gonna take a reverse. Dip that front right in, get that left rear to come up, and then you run out of room to back up. So yeah, this is the challenge. Front end washed out on me. Let's take a look at this Dana 44 up here getting smashed into these rocks. It hurts a little bit, but this is how they should be treated. That's why I get the raw instead of the black anodize. It's because I know that the sandstone out here is just gonna destroy the black finish and get them all scratched up, which is fine. Some people like that look. I prefer the raw so that it shows scratches a little less. Yeah. This thing's just getting bound up. I can't quite get that rear where I want it. Got the Sabix Monster in here, putting in some work. So let's try a little more of a side hill approach in. Now the left rear is up where I want it. Now it's too steep. Just a couple of these little throttle blips to get it rotated. That's exactly where I want it, right here. Ah, fell off. That was it, man. Lots of steering angle on these Vanquish axles. Definitely getting some good steering angle on that. There she goes. Little throttle out actually helped out. Just gonna squeeze the front tire past this ledge here. And once we get the rear going, we can actually turn up and climb this ledge, which is cool. So it's a rad transition right here. There she goes. Got that forward weight bias to dip the front end in. We're gonna hope that this front end holds the front down as she drags her belly up. Come on, car. Yeah, got it. Really cool transition there. I always like that climb. So as we're climbing up the trail, this obstacle, I always like to run it going down the trail. So I'm actually running the wrong direction here. But you can see, get that front tire up on the ledge. We'll see how this car's width works out for this obstacle. Typically a wider car really helps. But floating that rear tire, and then I'm just gonna dance it in and land it. So now, crawling sideways on this one. You wanna lean it over, but not too far. You don't wanna tip. And then you gotta watch how your tire is engaging the rock on the low side. Make sure you're not scrubbing the top of your sidewall. But check out this crack. And there's nothing below this car. And it's a big overhang on the right, so you can't fall in or else you'll just be gone. You'll fall in and that'll kill your line. Luckily with the RCs, if I do, I'll just pick up the whole car. But that's what's kind of cool about these is you can do stuff that the full-size scale stuff just wouldn't attempt for obvious reasons. So here she is, just gonna bump that rock slider on the way down. And then I'm gonna turn back into it with the fronts. Actually need to get this rear landed on the wall. And there she goes. Kind of fell in, but somewhat controlled. We'll reverse her out of there backwards. Crab walk it across. A couple of those, we'll get our nose clear. It's not the prettiest exit on sometimes, but with the rear steer car it helps. And you know, maybe we'll have to just climb up and over. No, Fusion doesn't want to do it. Too much of a bind. There she goes. Cool obstacle, definitely wild. You can't go up it, but I can go down it. For the middle of August, I can't complain. It's a little warm. It's probably creeping up on 90 now. But dude, there's no wind. The lake is like dead calm. We're out here early morning. Having a great time on the trail. Just landed that front end down there. I do have underdrive in the rear, so a little bit of overdrive going to the front axle. Rear's gonna slide in here in a second. Oh, beautiful. I could have rode in that full size and been comfortable. Now I want to use some throttle blips. Look at that steering angle here. They're gonna slide in. All right, we got the save with a little bit of throttle there. Perfect. This is one of my favorite lines out here. I found this out here running around with the Northern Utah slut crawlers, Salt Lake, Utah crawlers. But we came out here and I showed them this trail. We all had a great time. I think we had like 13 or 14 people on the trail that day. And I took a video of this with my iPhone, and I was out there running my Tiger Capra back before it had rear steer. So I had just built the kit and I squeezed it through here, which is kind of impressive really, because this is no joke of an obstacle. I actually haven't been back since. It's been quite a few months since I've been out here. I sold my own razor and haven't had access out to the terrain like this because I don't want to take my 2500 Chevy out here. So here we go, got to finesse the front end through here. Trying to keep that front right stuck to the wall as well. That's going to help get that rear over too. Now, my kit Capra had a wider axle setup with the Capra axles. This car's got some pretty aggressive hubs on it. Oh, we fell in. So I may have to take a little reset here. All right, she got herself out of it. That was just a wrong timing on a turn there. Yep. And I just need to keep this front end pinched in here. But I don't want to dip the front left too low. But I need to keep the front right high to help that right rear climb. It's just a kind of a balance, you know? Oh. There she goes. We're on a good line, actually. Just as long as these tires stick and don't drop in, and then just drag that rear through. Yep, yep, yep. All right. Really ugly spot that this car does not belong in. Well, all right, guys, unfortunately, this is going to be where I leave you. Out here with the Capra with my 3-link part. Again, check it out, westdesertwheeler.com. If you're interested in robbing some axles off your Capra, or if you have a couple Capras, this is a totally new way to wheel with one. And it's actually surprisingly good and really fun on straight axles. I actually recommend trying it out. I think that you'll have a good time. As you saw out here, these things can be very capable with straight axles. But again, thank you to Trail Hero for allowing me some access out here. Had a great time in that Kawasaki KRX4 today. We will see you guys in the next one. Hit the affiliate links down below. Visit my website. Pick up a t-shirt. I got a new design designed by Fabin801. And be sure to check that out as well. We'll see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.